Yeah, what did you make of like the player that stood out for me? Like the couple of players really stood out for me for you, but I know he's a player you've been on a lot. But it's twice now I've seen Fabio Vieira come on for you and look fantastic. He's really starting to. He's really starting to prove he's not a flop this season. Slowly.
Well, it's you're funny. Literally 2 sub appearances for 10 minutes. Yeah, and now everyone's calling for him to start games. Yeah, cool. Over Havertz, I'd put him in the team. But then, are you going to produce in that team? Let's see. Well, who's our next game? Everton away. That's not really a place I'd put either of them 2 players in.
Yeah.
For me, Smith Rowe starts that game.
But why do you feel... I mean, again, though, but you spoke for about half an hour with me around why Sancho not being given chances when somebody else isn't performing. You've had Fabio come on twice, look brilliant, create and get you back. He got you back into that Fulham game. Really, you should have held on and won the game. His performance deserved it. He came on and again looked brilliant against United and set up that final goal, but was influential. Surely you'd be chomping at the bit to see him start over Kai Havertz and promote that era.
I'll take you over Kai Havertz. That guy is not a good footballer. Yeah, Smith Rowe must be sitting there scratching his head, thinking, "When am I getting the game?" Yeah, and like I said, he's been brilliant in the 2 appearances when he's come on. He won the penalty against Fulham. The cross to Eddie was superb. Yeah, in the Fulham game as well. He came on, looked superb when he came on in that game. But this manager is not starting him over Kai Havertz. Yeah, maybe he should start over Kai Havertz. He's produced more. Yeah, so he should start over him. But at the same time, when I've seen Smith Rowe sit on the bench for God knows how long, and our next game is Everton away, where we ain't won since 2017, do you want Fabio Vieira in midfield? Probably not. Yeah, I'd rather have Smith Rowe in there. At least he'll get a bit more stuck in. Yeah. But I don't know. We can't predict what this manager's going to do, mate. Yeah, which is why I get the hump sometimes. But you can't predict what he's going to do. But in terms of Vieira, I think he's been superb in them 2 games. I said it on both my fan cams, said it on multiple streams. Let's see if he can go up a level by getting a start and doing it. Yeah, our next 2 games, I think we've got Everton away, and then we've got Feyenoord at home in the Champions League. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, look, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, I don't know what Smith Rowe has to do to get a game. He's someone that just never seems to get on the football pitch anymore. But yeah, listen, it's a bad delivery. And I think Fabio, I said to a lot of Arsenal fans all summer, like, don't write Fabio Vieira off yet. I think there's a real talent in there. I do agree with you in this instance here that let's see, well, you guys can see, I'm not an Arsenal fan.
PSV, not Feyenoord.
Let's see if you can do it, as you say, from starts, because that's sometimes a harder thing to do than come on and be an impact player, as an example. But he has so much more dynamism about him and cutting edge compared to Kai Havertz. But I suppose you would argue that's not very, very difficult, because I felt like Kai Havertz was the only real poor performer in your team on Sunday. I feel like whenever the ball got to him, things slowed up. I feel like Eddie and Nketiah didn't have the best of games either. Listen, I know Saka and Martinelli didn't, but Saka and Martinelli were stopped by our plays.
I actually thought Martinelli played all right. It's just his crossing. Apart from the goal for Odegaard. Yeah, like Wan-Bissaka defended pretty well on him, I can't lie. So in the end, he was just kicking it off of him for corners that he then couldn't deliver past the first man. Yeah, but in terms of getting the ball, taking us up the pitch, trying stuff, I see Martinelli a lot more in that game than I see Saka. Saka missed an absolute sitter as well that he should be putting in the back of the net. But Saka's been poor for the back end of last season. He's been poor at the start of this. Which is why I was crying out for another right winger to come in. Yeah, and I know Jesus is back now. What a finish that was, by the way. And we could potentially put him on the right and then go with Trossard up front or Eddie up front or whoever he wants up front. We could put Martinelli up front if we wanted to and put Trossard on the left. But yeah, for me, I just look at our squad and I just think, we're not playing great at the minute. We've got 10 points on the board, cool. But when I look at our squad, I just think, we're so light, it is mad. Yeah, we've got 7 defenders. If you take out Timber because he's injured, I think we've got 7 defenders. One of them's Cedric Suarez. Yeah, one of them's Tomiyasu, who's barely fit anyway, always out injured. Zinchenko's been injured quite a lot since he's been here. So that leaves us with 4. Yeah, can you sit there and name a second back 4 that we could play? I know we've got Kivior, but if we was to drop that whole back 4 that started at the weekend, and is it any coincidence that we look so solid defensively and limited you to a screamer from Rashford that, like I said, the keeper probably should have saved if he was on his line, and a chance from Martial? Other than that, you had nothing. Yeah, can you name another back 4? If we dropped all of that back 4 for the next game, who's the back four? We ain't got one.
Yeah, look, in terms of Saka, I just want to make a note what you said there, because I want to go back to the Saka thing. Why do you think he ended poorly last year, started poorly? What do you think that's down to, in your opinion?
Too many games, man. The guy's going to go off to England and play 90 minutes in the next 2 international games that are coming up. Yeah, very rarely gets subbed off. Yeah, and this is his, what, 4th season? Yeah, like, I think it's his birthday today. Big up Saka. But listen, I like Saka. I think he's a top player, but the way we just keep playing him and playing him and playing him, even in games where we're clear, he stays on for 90 minutes. And it's like sometimes you've got to wrap him up in cotton wool a little bit and just say, no, you're coming off, mate. Yeah, we've got other players that can play on the right wing in that squad now. Yeah, albeit I wanted another right winger. I would have gone and got Pedro Neto or somebody like that, maybe. Yeah, or even just somebody that's a little bit, I don't know, different. Because Saka, the problem we have is when we play Thomas Partey at right back in the first few games, he's isolated constantly. Yeah, constantly. Yeah, I know Odegaard floats out to the right a little bit, but when you've got Thomas Partey at right back coming inside, you're relying on Odegaard to do an overlap round him. Well, Odegaard don't necessarily overlap him. So you're then all inside and he has to keep passing back in field, trying to do quick 1-2s with Odegaard. So listen, and I will say this, yeah. I think it was the Palace game. Was it the Palace game? He whipped some great crosses in Saka. But again, Havertz is a donkey. Yeah. And was on his heels. He weren't on his toes. Yeah, there was a great ball he put like 6-7 yards out. If Havertz was on his toes, if that was Eddie scores. Yeah, so it's not all on Saka, but he has been extremely poor compared to the heights he hit last couple of seasons. But listen, we needed a right winger. We needed a top striker. We've seen Man City have got an elite one. Yeah, why didn't we go and get somebody? Yeah, we needed another midfielder. Yeah, so it is what it is. At the end of the day, this lot, they're all positivity merchants. Yeah, great start, fantastic. We see a better start last season and didn't win it. And Man City, I think that's only the second time since Pep's been there they've won their first 4 games. But apparently they're weaker, and we've bridged the gap. And come December, this fan base will be sitting there saying, "Oh, we got a thin squad." I'll give you an example right now. Yeah, if Saliba gets injured again at Everton away, and I know it's all ifs, who's going centre back? Kivior. Yeah, Ben White maybe, and then we put somebody at right back, put Cedric in at right. See what I'm saying? All of a sudden, that back line, yeah, we know our best team, we know our best back four, we know our best midfielders, we know our best attacks. That's it.
Yeah, listen, I get you. Listen, at the end of the day, what are you, 10 points out of 12 to begin the season? You've not been at your scintillating best. I still think there's more levels to come from you. I think the injury to Partey is going to be is unfortunate, but you know, Fabio Vieira starting to produce, starting to perform, bring him into the team. Jesus coming back to full fitness is going to be massive for you. And yeah, look, Saka hasn't hit the heights yet, but I'm sure he's going to. I'm sure he's going to deliver at some point. And I just think that Arsenal fans should be so encouraged by your start of the season. Not because you've been at your absolute best, but actually you've not been at your best and you've still picked up almost maximum points. You will be in this title race. I think, again, you played against us. I think Man United gave you a good game at the weekend. I understand what you're saying about playing for a draw. You know, it was such a tactical game. I wished it wasn't my team playing, if that makes sense, because I can never enjoy games that my team's involved with. It's too nerve-wracking. But yeah, there's been a lot of negativity and a lot of stuff around Arsenal, and I just don't, barring Kai Havertz, I don't really see what there is to be negative about the club right now. I think you're settling new players in. I think you're going to go to a much higher level performance-wise in the coming weeks, especially when you start playing 2 games per week. I think you'll get a better flow, as an example. And I think the pressure will be relieved a little bit. I think you guys have got too much time all week sitting around worrying about the next game. Fans have got to relax as well. Like pressure, yes, but the fans have got to relax a little bit and calm down. I think there's a lot of negative tension before games in the ground. You can kind of hear it through the TV. Support the team. Stay relaxed. And I think you'll help your team play better. I really, really do. City are brilliant at it. City, I know they win a lot, and that's why they're relaxed. But that doesn't mean you can't not be relaxed as well. Relax and enjoy it. And I'm sure your players will deliver better performances as well.